Are guys secretly scared to make the first move? How can a girl tell if a guy is pursuing her out of love or lust? Instead of physical intimacy, how do they experience emotional intimacy? How do I know if a guy likes me? Hey friends, my name's Alexis Glass and this is Chase, my boyfriend. And today we are going to be talking about questions that girls are too afraid to ask guys, a Christian edition. Because obviously it's going to come from a Christian perspective because we're both Christians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we love the Lord. And so every one of these questions, this preface is going to be from a Christian perspective. So I asked you guys on Instagram some questions, questions from the girls to ask Mr. Chase over here.
Mm-hmm. Hello.
And I'm going to ask him and we'll see what he says.
Yeah. So before we start though, I'm just a guy. I don't have all the answers.
A guy?
Yeah, I don't have all the answers, and you know what I say, take it with a grain of salt. Don't take it verbatim. I'm just speaking from experience and speaking from what I think, you know, the answers are.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. First question is, do you guys actually want to be friends once you break up?
Do guys actually want to be friends once you break up? So like a guy's dating a girl, then they break up. I guess in some circumstances, yes, but I think in a lot of circumstances, that yes may be they just may want to be friends in hopes to get back together with their girlfriend, with their ex. And so I think from my perspective, it's difficult to be a friend with your ex. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it can't work, but I'm saying usually one of those people's hearts is going to drift towards the other again and want to get back together. So I don't think guys want to be friends. It's not wise, I don't think.
I don't think girls do either.
Yeah, I don't think.
But at the same time, I think the girl wants to, I mean, from a girl's perspective, I think we want to that still attachment of that relationship, but then we don't. It's just like, it's hard to let that go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
it's hard for guys
sometimes
too.
It's needed to like cut it off.
Yeah, because, you know, if you stay in that relationship or you stay hoping, you're never going to look for the next person, so.
Yeah, you're never going to be ready for anybody else. Are guys secretly scared to make the first move? Were you?
No, I wasn't scared.
You weren't?
No, I'm very, I would say, so here's the thing. What was the question again?
Are guys secretly scared to make the first move?
Are guys secretly scared? Some guys are. Some guys are just, you know, a bunch of wusses sometimes. You know, some guys are just afraid of walking up to a girl and saying, hey, or like just even texting them, like, hey, I want to go on a date with you. There's nerves in it, but it wasn't scary for me to ask you on a coffee date.
Yeah.
So yeah, some guys are because they're just passive and they're afraid of what their girls. They're afraid of girls saying no. And so yeah, some guys are scared.
Okay. What actually goes through your head when you look at your significant other? Like, just from general perspective. Oh, what is that?
What do you mean in general?
Like, just like, I don't know, what actually goes through the guy's head whenever they like look at them? Like, is it...
I guess it's different every single guy.
From a Christian perspective.
Right, from a Christian perspective, I think... Well, I guess when they look at their spouse, they're looking at their spouse.
We're not married yet. Right. Significant other.
Significant other. I guess they're looking at them. They're looking at this person, and they're thinking potential of a spouse. That's usually from a Christian perspective.
That's what they're supposed to be.
I'm not looking at you just like I'm gonna hook up with you and you know, do the worldly thing of like having sex. I'm not looking at you that way. I'm looking at you as like, okay, this is a potential spouse. How can we both, you know, together move towards God and grow together?
So it's more of a look of love rather than lust.
Yeah, it's a look of love rather than lust. But yeah, absolutely.
How can a girl, this is just my question, how can a girl tell if a guy is pursuing her out of love or lust?
What's a tough question again?
Because I feel like some Christian guys will pursue a girl, they put on a persona.
Oh yeah.
And then it'll honestly be out of lust instead of love.
Yeah, I think you just got to examine the communication you have with that person.
Yeah.
You know, you got to think about, and you got to examine their life. Like, if this person's not pursuing God in their own time, and every time they see you, they're just trying to, like, grab your butt, or wanting to make out, or, you know, wanting to kiss you just nonstop.
Yeah.
And they're not in their word, and they're not reading, and they're not growing in Christ, they're not going to church, they're not pursuing God. You need to examine this person. Like, why are you dating them, first of all? I think to know, like, if they're looking at you lustfully, it's just, man, just examine their whole life. Okay, and you can examine their walk with God and examine, you know, how they're pursuing the Lord. And then it's really it'll give you a telltale sign of what they're actually doing in their relationship.
So, what do you guys look for in a godly woman?
Oh, this is easy. So,
Easy.
what am I looking for in a godly woman, or what do guys look for in a godly woman? So the first thing for me, I used to have a guys group, and we talked about this with some of my guys. We talked about how it's super like attractive
Super.
when a girl is individually seeking the Lord on their own time. Like they're disciplining themselves to get up and read. They're praying. They're going to church. They're serving. That stuff is, I mean, those are the first things I'm really looking at, when I'm looking at your life. And so I think a lot of Christian guys are looking at that girl's walk with God. Okay, are they spending time with God on their own time? Are they reading the Bible? Are they learning? Are they wise in the Word? And then serving. And so I think if you see a girl serving in church, guys are looking for a wife. Like that's what they're looking for, Christian guys. They're not looking for someone to hook up with, but they're looking for a wife. And so if you see this person serving, you could see this person, I'm gonna say serving as a wife, but I'm not talking about like bow down to the guy. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about serving their children and serving their
household,
the people around the household and their friends and people, and making the house welcome to other people. And so I think like just serving
and servant heart,
yeah. And that's for both. I think girls are looking for that too as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. How do guys experience intimacy outside of a physical aspect? And so it's like, instead of physical intimacy, how do they experience emotional intimacy in a way?
Yeah, I think it's just so with me and you, I think the most that we've experienced, like the emotional intimacy outside of physical intimacy, is just having our conversations together, talking about God.
Yeah.
And
I mean, even like we've gone to coffee and like talked about like what we've learned that week.
Right. Yeah, and I think every single guy and girl is looking for this emotional intimacy, because if you don't have emotional intimacy, guess what you're not going to have? Physical intimacy. Like how is that going to work? How are you going to be arguing with somebody and just being on bad terms with them and lying about them or whatever, and then you try to come together and like kiss or hold hands or cuddle? Like
it's just
it's not going to work, because you're like
you're
off on one side of the spectrum. You can't be on the physical side. So I think just the intimacy of like being vulnerable with each other, talking about things that you're going through. I think a lot of guys are looking for that, and girls are too. That's a thing across the board. Everybody's looking for.
Across the board.
Yeah.
Why do some Christian guys, not want to pursue girls anymore? I feel like a lot of them, I'm going to keep on talking to you to think for a second. I think a lot of them are passive, and a lot of guys are kind of waiting for things to happen instead of wanting to pursue a girl. Maybe they're out of fear or out of like, I don't know. But like, what is that? Like, can you give any insight into like what that is like for a guy? Like, I don't understand. I feel like
why guys are afraid?
Yeah, but
to ask.
Yeah, and I think it's, I don't know. There definitely is guys that still pursue girls, but there is a big chunk of guys nowadays in our age group that just are not pursuing girls anymore.
So I think a lot of guys are looking for the the hot girl in the gym, perfect body. They're looking for that. And so their mindset, like now if they're a more mature Christian, they understand like, man, Proverbs 31, beauty is fleeting, charm is deceptive, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. And I think that's their heart, the mature Christians guys. But then you have the other guys who are spiritually immature, and they're looking for this physical attribute to complete that girl and to complete them. And so I think every single guy is looking for like the best girl. Okay, and that's leading to the girls that are godly, really good girls, women of God, like they're good, and because guys are looking for this perfect girl, they're missing and they're not asking these great godly women out, and it's just leaving a lot of people like, why are guys so afraid? Why do guys not ask out? Guys are looking for like this. It's like one girl is getting all the guys to ask them out. Then you have all these other girls that could be great spouses, are just sitting back like, what's going on? And so I think a lot of guys' hearts need to be changed. God's got to continue to change their hearts. A lot of guys are passive. They're looking for the perfect girl. It's like no one's perfect. And I think it's, man, if you know some guys that are godly, try to be patient with them, I guess. But it's hard. It's really, really hard when guys don't ask girls out and they're just sitting back and being passive. Like, I get that, but
the guy gotta work on them.
Yeah, God has to move their heart and change their heart. Because guess what? If I was a believer, I was that guy looking for all like the, looking for just like the really attractive girls, and now it's like, I mean, this girl's beautiful. She's beautiful, but it's not the primary thing.
Yeah.
Anymore.
It's not what matters.
No, it's someone. I'm looking for a girl who fears God ultimately, and she does.
Yay.
And she does. So.
I had a question that said, "Do you ever think about proposing?"
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we talked about like my intentions. Like we've talked about those kind of things, and it's okay to do that. Like it's not wrong to set your like expectations for like why you're dating this person. Like I'm not dating her just to have fun. Like I'm not. I'm dating her in hopes that we can get married. One day soon, and whenever that day is. But yeah, I've thought about it. I've thought about proposing to you, absolutely, and getting engaged and all that, because that's the goal. The goal is to get married. It's not to date forever. So
thank you, Lord. Okay.
Dating's not biblical. Marriage is.
Do guys pray for their future wife?
Yeah. Absolutely. I prayed when I used to pray before I was a believer. I was like 15 years old. Wasn't even following God. I'm like, God, please, Lord.
Please give me a wife.
Just give me a good wife. And it's like, dude, you don't even follow me. Like, your heart's not even right. Why would if I give you this, you're done. You're not gonna.
He gave it to you at a good time.
Yes. But yes, guys do pray for it.
So like, how do they pray for their wife? Do they? Because I mean, okay, y'all, us girls, we have like literally like, some girls have like journals for their husband. Some girls like have like things like that. Like, do guys just pray like in general, or they like?
So I've journaled.
Yeah.
I've journaled, but I think a lot of guys
really
probably do actually.
I feel like I wouldn't have thought that,
because guys are emotional.
I know.
Like we're not all like, oh.
I know, but like it's such a misconception that girls have, that guys don't really know how to.
Right.
I mean, some guys don't know how to express their emotions, but
they don't. Oh, they don't. But I think that trend's changing.
It is changing.
I think it's changing,
because I feel like a lot of guys are being more open and more open about their struggles, which is really cool. Really cool. How do I know if a guy likes me? Like, what will he do?
Okay, if he's flirting with you, listen.
I know, but like, that's so
this
broad.
Question should not even, this question should not even be asked.
Why?
Because if how do you know if a guy likes you? This dude should make it very clear that he likes you.
Yeah.
He should come up to me and be like, "Hey, I like you. Let's go on a date."
Did you
this Friday
make it clear?
At 3:00? Huh? Well, we saw each other one night. One night we saw each other, and then I texted you like that.
Well, yeah.
But if we knew each other more,
I knew you liked me, but it was like.
Are you talking about on the date? Are you talking about in like the talking process?
I hate the talking process.
Are you talking about that? Or are you talking about before dating? Before we even asking on a date?
No, before we even like said, "Oh, I like you." We had never said that for like a couple weeks.
Okay.
And so I was like, "How do I know?" I mean, I knew that you liked me. Like how, in those like kind of weirder stages, like maybe they're talking to you a little bit, but then like they don't talk to you, and then it's like, so it's how do you know if that person likes you?
Yeah.
I know you said, in some senses, yes, it was obvious. Like you were talking to me, you pretty much like talked to me like a lot, and we were communicating. You were trying to get to know me.
So I think at first, like I've told you, like I didn't know if I was all in. Like the first couple weeks of us talking, I was still learning about you and still all that things. But I'll tell you, like as soon when I remember I first called you like cute or something. I think it was after our coffee date.
Yeah, I think so.
And then you sent me a picture of you, looking cute, and I was like, "Oh, you're cute," or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think those kind of things that guys say, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, if they compliment you, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, and I think it's not wrong to, as a girl, to ask.
Like, I did.
Yeah, like.
I did. I asked him. I was like, well, what did I say? We were in the car or something on the way somewhere, and I was like, I told you that I liked you, I think. Yeah. So, I mean, girls, if you really want to know, no hurt in asking.
Ask them. Like, ask them. And if the dude's like, oh my gosh, you asked me that question? Sorry. No dude's gonna do that.
No.
No good guy.
They're gonna be, if they actually don't like it, they're gonna be nice about it. They're not gonna be like rude.
Right.
I mean, some guys are, but like most guys, if you're dating a good guy, we're talking to a good guy. Okay, what's a good tell sign that a guy does not like you?
That does not like you.
Like maybe you're friends at church or something, and like you always hang around the same friend group or whatever. How do you know if this guy like is not really interested in you? 'Cause I feel like some girls can like get kind of misconstrued if, like, say you're, like, especially people at church. It's so hard at church because, like, maybe you're at, like, you go to the same small group or, like, something like that. You always see this person.
But I don't like this question either, because it should be really obvious if a guy don't like you. If a guy's
I know.
flirting with you and, like, being friendly and all that stuff.
Because some guys are, like,
Yeah,
I mean,
I get
Christian
that.
guys are
I get
just
that.
nice.
That's true.
You know, sometimes they're, like, a lot of Christian guys are outgoing. Like, you know what I mean? They're nice. They'll talk to you.
Right.
And so, like, how do I know if he's not interested in me? But
I think if they're not, like, texting you,
yeah, that's the thing.
If
It's
they're
like
not-
outside of churches, they're not talking
if
to
they're
you.
not pulling you aside and being, like, trying to
know
build relationships, like, build a relationship, I'm talking about, like,
Yeah.
ask different questions beyond, like, hey, how you doing? You doing good
Yeah.
today? Oh, okay. And then joking around. Like, going beyond that and really trying to pursue you. That's how you know if a guy likes you. And if he's not doing that, he's not liking you. And if he's like a player or a dog, he might try to, like,
Play with your
hop
feelings.
around with different girls. And that dude's just,
That's not for you.
see ya. If
That's not
if
for
that
you.
guy's in your life, get rid of him.
He's not
ASAP.
for you.
He's not for you. He's not godly. So, get
Cool.
rid of him.
Cool. I think that is all my questions.
That's all your questions? Okay, I want to say one last thing. Listen, y'all. Relationships are great. Me and her have a healthy relationship. We do. It's not perfect. No relationship's perfect. But the only relationship that we all need is what?
Jesus.
Jesus. And so, if you don't have a foundational, grounded relationship with God, don't be going out trying to get relationships with other people. It's not wise. It's not going to go well. Ground yourself in Christ. Find your value. See your value that you have in Him. And then
And honestly,
other
it'll
people.
come.
It'll come.
Come to you in a way. Like, I mean, this was so unexpected for both of us. I mean, it came to us. Like, it was God that brought this together, and so we can't force it. If you're having to force a relationship or having to force somebody to like you, it's not good for you. Like, you don't need to do that, especially girls. Like, we feel like we have to work for it. But the kind of love that God has for you, you don't have to work for, you don't have to strive for, because you'll know that it's from God. You'll know that's, like, God sent. And so that's something that we're all praying for, we're all looking for. So if you're in a season, I feel like a lot of people that are going to watch this aren't in a relationship. And if you aren't, then, hey, pray for it. Pray for your future husband, pray for your future wife. But also, like, pursue God. Because, like Chase said, the most attractive thing for a Christian guy is a woman that fears the Lord, and a woman that wants to pursue Him, to serve, and to see where her calling is. Because my calling isn't to be Chase's wife. My calling is totally different than Chase's. And so I feel like God really wants the people before they get married to figure out, well, this is what God's calling me to do. This is what God's calling Chase to do. And yeah, this is very similar things in some ways, but it's my individual calling, Chase's individual calling. So I feel like sometimes in the Christian world, we'll date a person, and then, like, our callings have to be meshed. And then whenever you leave that, or say that relationship doesn't work out, oh my gosh, my life is over.
my life's ruined. Yeah.
But
It's not.
no, because you have your own personal relationship with God, your own foundation with God, and that makes the world of a difference in your relationship, and that's gonna set you up for a good marriage and for a good relationship in the future. So, yay!
Yay!
Thank you for joining and watching. If you want to subscribe, go ahead, subscribe.
Yeah,
It'd be
subscribe.
fun.
Hit that button.
Hit the bell thingy to get notified or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like the video, because that'd be helpful. Comment below if you have any more questions. If you want us to do part 2, we'll do part 2. We could do it the other way, where, like, you ask me guys questions that guys are too afraid to ask girls.
Okay. Cool. I'm down.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye-bye.